Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what we need to do now is finish off these last three examples. So here's a trinomial. We know that it's going to break up into two binomials. We know we're going to get an x at the beginning of both of them. We do our little pattern here. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give positive 28, add to give 11. Do what you need to. Do your table of values. Do a factor tree, but those answers are 4 and 7. You'll notice that they multiply to give 28 and they add to give 11. So it's positive 4 and positive 7. And it wouldn't matter if I wrote it like this. This would still expand out to give me the trinomial above. The next one, we're going to get two binomials because it's a trinomial, so it factors to two binomials. We put an x in the beginning of both. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give negative 30 but add to give 7. I think 10 and 3 work out, and it's got to be positive 7, so it must be a positive 10 and a negative 3. So positive 10, negative 3, and that'll work out. We can always check it. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. 10 plus negative 3 is 7. The last one, we have a bracket, a bracket, a bracket, a bracket, an x and an x. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give 12 and add to give negative 13. Well, that's going to be negative 1 and negative 12. It might take you a little bit longer to get those numbers, but that's fine. You'll put a negative 1 in here and a negative 12 in there. Check it. Negative 1 times negative 12 is positive 12. Negative 1 plus negative 12 is negative 13. It works. Last question, we have the area of a square. So a square is something like this. You notice that your length equals your width, and an area for a square is length times width. But they also tell me that my area is given by x squared minus 20x plus 100. So what I need to do is factor this so that I have a length and I have a width, just like over here. So I need two numbers that are going to multiply to give a positive 100. They're going to add to give negative 20. Negative 10 and negative 10 work. And again, you might take longer to get that, and that's fine. X minus 10, x minus 10. Notice the length and width both equal each other. That's because it was a square. And we can finish the question by saying length equals the expression x minus 10 units. And there you go. All right, so what do I think you should do next? Well, there's this sheet, but it's not terribly good. We can go through and try to do all of these and cross out the answers that we find over here. I don't think it works out, to be honest with you. But these are a bunch of good questions that you can try and use photo math to check if you're right. And I think that's probably a good idea. This one's an interesting question. This one does not factor. Does not factor. And when you get to it, figure out why it doesn't factor. What makes this not work? And in fact, there's an answer here that says not factorable. But why doesn't this factor when all the rest do? So you can give those a shot and get working on those, and we'll be back in a few moments.